your tickets. Now when you guys get here for 7, there's going to be 2 trolleys pulled up here. There's going to be one up front, closer to that lamp.
I pick you too many, that's Constance. So my group say hello, Constance.
Hello, Constance.
Hello, my group say hello, Lily.
Hello, Lily.
Now, darlings, you find yourself in Corpse Hill Burying Ground, also known as Corpse Hill Burying Ground.
Don't steal my soul! Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Now, if you look around here, I know it's very, very dark, but if you could actually do a bit of a Price is Right game with me, a guessing game, I would like you all to guess how many headstones are in this graveyard. Just shout it out. 250. 250. 1400. Higher. 1500. Who said 2000? Higher.
5,000.
Over. 250 is lower than 2,000. Okay, all right.
Did need a lot of money to commission something as beautiful as this. So if Mr. William Clark is buried here, well, you see this right here? Who the hell is Samuel Winslow? Well, you see, Samuel Winslow was a lot like you guys. He came round Corpse Hill Burial Ground and he really admired Mr. William Clark's headstone. He liked it so much that he wished he could have one like it just for himself. Unfortunately, Samuel Winslow did not have the kind of money it took to have a beautiful headstone commissioned. What he did have was very good connections. So he's lying on his deathbed. He calls the grave digger over to his house, slips him some money. He says, yeah, when I die, could you just, sling me over your shoulder, sneak into Corpse Hill? You know that beautiful headstone with Sir William Clark's? I'd be much obliged if you could dig him up, shove the body down a few feet and throw me right on top. That is exactly what the gravedigger did. It was actually a very common practice. Some of the graves in Corpse Hill can have bodies stacked up, one on top of the other, up to 10 people in one grave. Samuel Winslow was very lucky that he had his name added here because most of the time it was just done very anonymously. So there's probably anywhere from about 6 to 10 feet deep. We don't exactly know how many sailors are in there because nobody would bother to keep records. I didn't think it was anything real. Well, you can see his glass.
They'd open that door and throw the sailors in there.
So, you might immediately think that he was a great leader in battles and that's what he was most well known for. Well, it was true that he was a good leader, but that's not what he was most famous for. Captain Daniel Malcolm was most well known for being able to smuggle 60 casks of wine into Boston city limits, and he never paid a single tariff on them. 6 feet deep in a wooden casket. He wanted to be buried 10 feet deep in a stone casket. You see, he knew the British soldiers used this graveyard as a campground, and he never wanted to feel them traipsing over him after he died. Now, he didn't know it at the time of his death, but during the Battle of Bunker Hill, the British soldiers did use this spot, and they used it to have these big ovens where they got their cannonballs nice and hot, and then they shot them across the way over into Charlestown. That is where we get the phrase, hot shot, target practice. And you can still see the bullet marks this very day. See them? One right here. Another one right here, one here, one here. This up here, I have to tell you, is not a bullet mark. This is from hundreds of years of people saying, this is not a bullet mark. But they do say it's good luck if you rub the eye socket. Follow me this way.
And strap her down, pull out her tongue and stick a searing hot poker through it so she can shout out in public like that.
Yes. Feel free, go on in, darling.
I mean, come on, I don't believe me. I'm not listening to guys, I burnt mine alive. Then what can I say? She killed her and... Which everyone?
Oh, we're still waiting on you?
Yeah. Alright, come on, darlings! Yeah,
Nick, for some entertainment value, right? And it's just like the Victorian era. Because here you would also come for your entertainment, but it was of a different kind. Public humiliations,
yeah.
Public tortures, and, oh, you hear that? Our favourites.
Yes.
Public executions.
don't know, of course, this has told you all this, but we are actually sticklers for historical reenactment. Yes. We could pull out some pie charts and, like, from underneath the skirt layers.
Yeah, you know.
She's always carrying pie charts in there.
Well, I was going to pick Al, but now he's videotaping. But I'm sorry for whoever has to watch this. All right, so let me see. Darling, you want to help us out? Just around their neck.
She's already like, please don't really performing.
Now, as I was telling my group, the proper news has 13 turns on it. That's the exact amount of force needed to snap a neck. So if all goes well, you know, we kick the stool out from under them, we push them off the tree or whatever, they will drop, their necks will snap. All of you playing the role of the angry Puritan mob will all go wild. Okay? So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Oh yeah, and the girls take pictures. 2, 3. Yes. Right on the top. Oh, they have done this before. Very good.
1.
Yeah, we gotta go 45 minutes. So keep going. This is where you get your cardio for the day. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Can't do it? That's all right. Good try.
Well,
Give a round of applause. Very good, darlings. Very good.
Just take me down.
Very good. Yeah, now they're scarred for life, but it's okay. And the children are scarred for life too.
To my right, into my left, our torch is upside down, symbolising the extinguishing of life.
Yeah, and of course, right up top, we've got Harry Potter's golden snitch. Also known as the Egyptian sun god Ra. So let's go right on in. This graveyard was established in 1660, and it used to be actually part of the land that is the Boston Common. But they needed to make a graveyard here, so they did. Now, Lily and I are going to take you around this graveyard. I'm going to start right here, okay? This, right here, is the tomb of Benjamin Franklin's parents! Yeah, it makes it really boring, so let's just move on.
I'm already 1 step ahead of you.
Ah, right.
That's never a good thing to do in a graveyard. Also a perfect photo opportunity. All right, darlings. Now, John Hancock is known for having a large, huge, enormous signature on the Declaration of Independence. Yes, my darlings, large signature, large monument. It does not appear that anyone's overcompensating for anything. Always exists here. Used to stretch the Boston Common. Now, yeah, I told you, be careful of the holes. Oh, was that the ants? Yeah, isn't that creepy? Yeah, well. I would never attempt to kill something in a graveyard, so you're very brave. This is actually the monument of Paul Revere that the city put up. This, right here, my darlings, is the actual headstone that Mr. Paul Revere requested. He was a very modest man, very secure, not like that Mr. John Hancocky back there, no, not one bit. Now, this young gentleman asked me, hey Lily, why is there a bunch of freaking money lying around? Well, darlings, people used to put pennies, nickels and dimes, they still do, to the headstone or tomb of someone who was a coppersmith or a silversmith. And Paul Revere was indeed a coppersmith. He was actually a dentist, a coppersmith, you know, who was Paul Revere's ride. He had 13 children. He was a busy man. Now, like I said, this monument is the most photographed monument in Boston. And all of you are like, of course, Lily, duh, it's Paul Revere. But, believe it or not, that is not the reason it is the most photographed monument. Instead, there was a gentleman, much like you, my darling, standing right there. He had a camera and he was in the Boston Granary. He had a beautiful photograph lined up, ready to get the headstone and monument. And all of a sudden, right as he clicked the picture, some bratty little kid ran right in front of his picture. So he went to give that kid a piece of his mind. He looked down, he looked to the right. Why you? He looked to the left. You no good. And there was no one at all nearby that could have just run in front of his photo. So he did probably what any of you might have done, taken a few more pictures, and then he ran the hell out of here. Now, he forgot about the incident entirely until he went home and had his photos developed. Yeah, developed. It was a little while ago. Now he went home and he was looking through his photos as he's about to scrapbook, and he was like, oh, there's my Boston Red Sox game. That was fun. I drank beer. Oh, that was my Sam Adams brewery tour. They gave us free beer. Oh, that's the Boston Graduate. Whoa. In his photograph, right where I stand, was a pair of disembodied legs in revolutionary style boots. Now a lot of people think that there's Tour.avi himself visiting his eternal resting place, checking up on the digs like, oh, this is good for me. I, myself, do not believe that. Like I said, he was a busy man. Tour.avi has arrived, 13 kids. He is having a long nap right about now. I, myself, my darlings, think it's one of his many friends that he saved or helped out in battle, giving a little heads up and saying bye and paying his respects. Either way, a pair of disembodied legs and leather boots, as much as I like leather goods, freaks me out. So we're gonna leave.
This is K said 3AB.